Nonetheless, Dolan immediately approached Ja, who started talking to them. We don't know what she said, but from the expressions on the young men's faces, it seemed like it wasn't good news at all. Christina is still defending her new snake friend, saying that she won't hurt anyone and is completely harmless. But Olivia and Ken said that if she had that much power, Alia could be considered a threat if she wanted to. That left them with few options to save her. Christina was really confused by this. After all, Chiron was a high-ranking government official, so it was totally possible that this kind of injustice was going on. Christina really wanted to act before anything happened, which Olivia thought could be a problem because acting without official orders from the capital would only make things more confusing. But the principal was more worried about something else. He had gathered them to introduce Ken, who seemed to warmly welcome the protagonists to the kingdom of Galoa. Although she didn't really expect Dolan to come along, she was still happy to see him and invited them to have dinner together, since the journey was going to be quite long and Jay would no longer be needed. At Caden's house, his guests were delighted to find a delicious meal waiting for them. Selena and Dolan thanked him with hearts full of gratitude for the delicious meal. Caden mentioned that he would prepare the necessary documents for Selena to legally reside in this land the following morning. Selena was reassured by this, until she revealed that when a soldier called her at that hour, she thought they were going to behead her. Karen didn't deny it, saying that it was certainly possible given her proximity to the alien and the danger her species might pose. In a quick change of scenery, we see to head over to Olivia's office to have a quick chat with her privately, but Olivia's not too keen on the idea. Meanwhile, Karen keeps up her friendly conversation, encouraging them to keep eating. The protagonists' hearts are racing. Karen even said that she'd seen many Lamia in her life, but none as beautiful as Selena. Her eyes were just mesmerizing. Once they've had their fill of food, the first part of the plan is a success. De knew that Christina wasn't planning on leaving, and with everything that was going on, he felt the need to ask her if she knew about the missing young women in Galoa. Christina said that she did, and that the strangest thing was that none of them had ever been found. But that wasn't what they were there to talk about. She wanted to know where her friends were. Ja went on to say that there was someone in the kingdom who was capable of using magic and had even lived for over 300 years. It seems that Olivia might be the prime suspect. However, Ja gently reminds us that the only way to live that long is to use forbidden magic. It's rumored that this person is using magic that allows him to possess other people's bodies to stay alive. Interestingly, the same creature was interested in Alia that she knew. So, it was time to act, and we're so glad she did. Back at Chiron's place, he had captured Selena to use her body. It was quite the feat, as not only is it rare to capture a Lamia alive, but this particular Lamia was also full of vitality. The plan was to skin her slowly with a scalpel, but Dolan quickly stepped in to protect her. He managed to get free somehow, showing incredible resilience. The woman thought the magic circle on the floor was very old and dangerous. She said it only appeared with such great power after ending many lives. She told us that she had long stopped counting after reaching 100 victims, using the remains for her experiments. She learned that each person had something valuable inside that became part of her personal collection. Dolan was a little confused by this, as he understood that using such black magic required a pact with the devil. The witch agreed to this, and even revealed that her current body was made of various parts she had recently stolen. However, it was now time for a new skin. Hearing this, Selena was surprised and saddened to learn that such an evil person actually existed, especially after they only wanted to ask for help. But this is of no concern to Ken, who believes that having such beautiful skin is a responsibility, and not taking care of it is a sin. Now, the crazy woman had completely lost all common sense, which confused Sidon a little. When they point out the magical transmitter that, as the name implies, transmits sound over long distances, we see Christina's spectacularly timely arrival. The guards immediately surround the demon, who with his latest crime wants to end the lives of innocent people. On top of that, lots of people have gone missing, which has left her feeling pretty unlucky. However, Chiron found it difficult to connect with others. Christina and Olivia, for instance, had a beautiful birthmark that made it hard for them to understand him. This was because, since childhood, he had been fascinated by the pure and perfect beauty that only a woman can achieve. One day, though, he realized that his admiration didn't make him feel fulfilled. He was looking for something more. With a wound on his wrist from when he was a child, he pursued his first victim, a beautiful woman who was just walking in the area. The second victim was an elf, whose life he ended. Poor thing. He did this only to fuel Ken's drive to continue seeking out more women, stealing their body parts and attaching them to himself. Thanks to this, he had the support of demons to obtain more beautiful skins since ancient times. Even though he has so much beauty, he still wants to be the best he can be, with no limits. However, she believes that this is not the end, as living for so long was not in vain. It transforms into a strange giant monster that chases Selena. This monster is referred to as body fusion by Dolan, which occurs when many species and forbidden magic are combined. In fact, the monster had animal body parts, making it dangerous to deal with. Thankfully, Selena's gaze stopped Ken in his tracks, giving the guards enough time to escape. However, Ken's cursed eyes weren't immortal, so he was almost caught if not for Christina, who cut off all his fingers. Unfortunately, his regeneration was very strong, and without fear, Christina cut off all his limbs to weaken the monster, which didn't want to lose and started summoning many eyes while gathering dark magic blasts to win. Olivia was really worried because she just didn't know how to defeat it. Even using her magic would mean sacrificing many innocent spirits, which she just couldn't bear to do. One of the reasons for this was that the blasts would kill them, leaving poor Dolan to handle everything by himself. But then he noticed the magic circle on the ground. It was top-level magic that could only be placed on top of forbidden magic. Before ending everything, he wanted to know if all of this was worth sacrificing so many lives for. Karen assured him that he had more mana than anyone, and he was proud to have ended so many women. Dolan then reminded the monster that they were innocent lives. He cast a heavenly spear spell along with his shield, which only hurt the demon with a blast. Once Selena was defeated, thanks to Dolan's high-level magic, she decided to study diligently even though it wasn't her specialty. She felt like giving up, but Dolan was really encouraging and convinced her that learning to read and write was a great idea. He said that expressing herself like a human would really benefit her in the future. Upon her return, Christina was eager to know how her studies were going. Dolan was delighted to tell her that her progress was going very well. In fact, his student had already mastered half the alphabet in a short period of time. This reminded Christina of herself, who had studied every day of her life. Selena was in awe of Christina's resilience in the face of so many trials. Outside the venue, De and Olivia showed up to visit them, wanting to apologize for forcing them into such a dangerous place. Selena was touched by their gesture but felt that the apology was unnecessary because with all the information, everything ended well for her in the end, and Dolan also admitted that he was surprised. GD still felt a little awkward when he heard that he was going to be officially recognized. Despite repeating Selena's words that thanks to her, they managed to solve 2 problems in a short period of time. This only reminded the elder that he brought a special gift, namely a special permit for Selena to live in Galoa officially along with her registration, ultimately making her a citizen with the same rights as the others. Olivia also tells Dolan that someone special wants to see him that day, and we soon learn that it's Denzel, Dolan's old friend. So, Dolan introduces Selena to Denzel, who remembers how often Dolan's mom talks about Selena in her letters. Denzel is Maru's eldest son, and since he doesn't always come to Galoa, he's excited to explore it. As they arrived on the main street, they saw a sweet little child drop a potato. Selena wanted to return it, but the child's mother quickly pushed her away upon seeing Selena as a lamia. This made the people around feel a bit uncomfortable, but Selena was too busy shopping for gifts for the villagers to worry about it. She was so kind and thoughtful. Denzel was touched by her gesture and wanted to return the favor on her behalf, though he was unable to do so at the time. As time passed, it was time to say goodbye. They invited them to come back anytime they wanted, and Denzel made the same promise. But before they left, Dolan was invited to attend the Academy of Magic in the area. After several conversations with Olivia and hearing Dolan's description of the high-level magic he was good at, It was clear he would be an outstanding student for the school. It would be such a loss if his talents were not honed. Dolan was really happy about the invitation, but he had responsibilities in the village that he couldn't leave, which Denzel totally understood. However, he still asked Dolan to think it over and let him know as soon as he could. Abel then approached Dolan to chat about his soul and said that if he really wanted to use his powers to help people, there was nothing better than expanding his knowledge at the academy. Denzel also reminded him that someday he would have to leave if he wanted to develop further. With nothing more to say, our protagonists said their goodbyes and headed home. On the way, Christina wanted to know if Dolan would consider an offer from the director. Dolan was genuinely interested in learning more magic, but he said that his responsibilities at VERM were too much. Christina understood because the place is indeed extraordinary. At the same time, Dolan realized that by looking at Galoa and comparing it to VERM, he saw how small and poor the village he lived in was. Christina didn't deny it either, because even the knowledge to study in VERM was very limited. While at the academy, he was able to achieve an incredible level of expertise, which made Dolan really think about leaving to improve his skills. Selena didn't want that, but she was proud of him nonetheless. A few hours later, we see something really quite magical. In the middle of the night, the forest is filled with giant insects that a poor elf sees coming through a portal. Behind him are only imposing humanoid figures.